Let's call the meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. The time now is 7:31 p.m. This is the regular scheduled meeting of the Municipal Land Use Board of the Borough of River Edge. This meeting of the Municipal Land Use Board is being held remotely and recorded via Zoom due to Borough Council chambers unavailability. It is in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act and associated regulations. Notice of this remote meeting was published in the Bergen Record, posted on the front doors of Borough Hall, and posted on the borough's website. The notice included the dial-in and login information necessary for public participation and access to this meeting remotely. A copy of the agenda for this meeting was made available on the borough's website near the posting of the meeting notice and included the dial-in and login information. During the public comment period of this meeting, if you would like to make a public comment, please press the raise hand button on Zoom or dial *9 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand. The board will address you by name or by the last four digits of your telephone number. You may mute and unmute yourself by pressing the microphone icon on Zoom or dialing *6 on your telephone keypad. You must state your name and address clearly prior to making a public comment. With that, I will turn it over to Ms. Steinle to call the roll, please.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Here.
Mr. Caslin?
Here.
Ms. Boland?
Here.
Mr. Merman?
Here.
Mr. Pfeffer is excused tonight. Mr. Cray?
Here.
Mr. Kanigo?
Here.
Councilman Glass?
Here.
Mr. Gibbons is excused tonight. And Mr. Bastide is absent. Also present, we have our board planner, Mr. Behrens, our board engineer, Mr. Flores, and our board zoning officer is excused tonight. Thank you, Chris. And I think you're on mute.
Okay, thank you. Okay. First item on this agenda this evening, we do not have draft of the November 6th meeting. I'm sorry, minutes.
I think we did. I think we did receive the
Did we
draft. Yep. Yes.
Okay. I apologize. I missed that one. In that case, we do have minutes from our November 6th meeting for review and approval. I'll turn it to the board for comment or questions on the draft minutes that were circulated.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Merman.
I've had a chance to review the 11/6 meeting minutes, and I find them acceptable and recommend them to the board unless they have further comments. I recommend them for approval.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any other comments or questions from the board on our November 6th minutes? Okay, there being none, I'll look for a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kanigo. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cray.
Mr. Cray was absent.
Oh, that was the one.
This was last
Okay.
meeting. So we have the motion from Mr. Kanigo, and then the mayor, Mr. Caslin, and Mr. Merman were present and eligible to vote. So we need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, and we can do all in favor.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the only abstention being Mr. Cray. Okay.
I believe I was out also.
And
Mr.
Boland
Cray and Ms. Boland.
Ms. Boland as well. Okay, let the record reflect that. Our next item on the agenda this evening, we'll move on to memorializations. We have Yunjong N. Kim as the applicant. Property is 254 Midland Avenue, Block 105, Lot 12. We have a resolution granting variance relief. Draft of the resolution was circulated to the board prior to this evening's meeting for review. I open it to the board for comment or questions on the draft resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Merman.
likewise, I've reviewed this memorialization and I find it in order.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other comments or questions from the board on this resolution? Okay, there being none, I'll look for a motion to approve, please.
Moved.
Thank you, Mr. Kenigo. Is there a second?
The eligible voters are Mr. Caslin, Mr. Merman, Mr. Kenigo, and Councilman Glass.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
I'll only call those eligible to vote. Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes,
Mr. Kenigo. Oh, I didn't, Mr. Kenigo
Yes.
and Councilman Glass.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay. Our next item under memorializations is for Kevin Ogden. Denise and Kevin Ogden. Property is 192 Adams Avenue, block 601, lot 21. Again, the resolution granting variance relief. Draft of the resolution was circulated to the board prior to this evening's meeting, and open it to the board for comments or questions on the draft resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Merman.
likewise, after reviewing this memorialization, I find it acceptable.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other comments, questions on this resolution from the board? Okay, there being none, I'll look for a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Thank you, Mr. Kenigo. There a second?
This is the same eligibility,
Oh.
except the mayor also was able to participate.
I'll second it.
Thank you, and I will only call those eligible. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes,
Mr. Kenigo,
Yes.
and Councilman Glass.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Our final item under memorializations this evening is the all-important memorialization resolution establishing our meeting schedule for the coming year, 2025. Draft of the resolution was circulated prior to this evening's meeting. Open it to the board for comments or questions on the resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Merman.
I've reviewed the memorialization of the calendar for the next year, and I find it acceptable with no comments by me.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments, questions from the board? There being none, I'll look for a motion to approve the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Craig. There a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman.
All right, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Ms. Boland,
Yes,
Mr. Merman,
Yes,
Mr. Craig,
Yes.
Mr. Kenigo,
Yes.
and Councilman Glass.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move now on to the completeness review section of our agenda. Applicant is Nicholas Oriema. Property is 428 Elm Avenue. This is block 811, lot 16. Seeking approval for a proposed addition. Requires a front yard setback and rear yard setback relief. Ms. Steinle?
Yes, thank you. Prior to this meeting, I reviewed the proof submitted by the applicant for the application and found them to be sufficient for the board to have jurisdiction and hear this application tonight, although it's not directly related to completeness.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Barron's pinch hitting for Mr. Depkin.
Glad to be here. Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. So the application's for an addition to an existing dwelling. The applicant submitted a existing property survey as well as the proposed plans, which include floor plans and elevations. Based on the review of what's been submitted, it seems the application can be deemed complete to move forward.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Mr. Flores.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board and the public in general. Yes, in preparation of the meeting, our office reviewed the architectural plans consisting of 2 sheets by Mr. Randall Ken Snyder We also review the survey entitled 428 Elm Avenue, prepared by Greg Schorfler, and the letter of denial from Mr. Stephen Dapkins, and we find all the information proper to deem the application complete. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And any questions or comments from the board as to the completeness of this application? Okay. There being none, I'll look for a motion to deem the application complete.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Boland. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Craig.
All right, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Ms. Boland,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes.
Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Kanigo,
Yes.
Councilman Glass.
Yeah.
All right, the motion passes.
And that we're going to transition right now into new business. Applicant is Nicholas Oriema. Property is 428 Elm Avenue, Block 811, Lot 16. This is seeking approval of a proposed addition requiring front yard setback and rear yard setback relief. I believe we have the applicant here this evening, and we have the architect as well. Good evening.
Good evening.
And do you have anyone else that will be with you tonight?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right, I will swear you both in. If you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, and Mr. Oriema, could you please state your name, spell your last name, and provide your address for the record?
Nicholas Oriema, Auriemma. Presently 35 Wilson Street, Nutley, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Sure.
And Mr. Schneider, could you please state your name, spell your last name, provide your address, and provide the board with some background on your qualifications and licensure?
Randall Schneider, Schneider. My address is 6 Springbrook Terrace, Sparta, New Jersey. I graduated from the University of Wisconsin School of Architecture in 1978 and was registered to practice in the state of Wisconsin. In 1989, I was moved to New Jersey and became registered in New Jersey, and I have been continuously qualified and certified in the state of New Jersey since then. I'm also a member of the American Institute of Architects and the Architects of Northern New Jersey, League. I have previously testified before several boards, both planning and zoning. And just an example, a few of the boards, it's Newark, Camden, Bloomfield, Belleville, Englewood, Jersey City, Elmwood Park, and Orange, among many others.
All right, thank you.
Any questions as to Mr. Schneider's qualifications on the board? Okay. Gentlemen, I'll turn the virtual floor over to you. If you would provide for the board's benefit, some testimony on the application and the relief you're seeking from the board this evening.
Is that me?
That's you.
Oh, okay. Good evening, members of the board, Mayor. If I can first introduce myself, my name is Nicholas Oriema. I'm married. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I teach high school math in Hillside, New Jersey. I am former is a Marine. I served in the United States Marine. My wife and I purchased this home about 3-4 months ago. And, we just fell in love. What a beautiful neighborhood. Everything looked to us like a little house on the prairie. The only downside was, the house itself was kind of small for a family of 4. Good and bad. Before we purchased this home, my wife and I, we I knocked on the neighbor's doors. I introduced myself. The neighbor directly behind us, I told them what we wanted to do, and we were 100% okay if they said no. the last thing I want to do was come in the neighborhood and disturb anybody. And they seem pretty positive. I know in that immediate neighborhood, every house has an addition on it. Not saying that should grant me permission, but it seemed like every house in that neighborhood has put an addition on because I guess the builder built a smaller house. As you can see, I'm seeking to expand the house. I want to come out 8 feet on the right-hand side. I want to make my family room bigger, 8 feet in the back, my kitchen bigger, and I just want to expand the bedrooms upstairs. The bedrooms are tiny. If any of you are familiar with these homes, and if you've been in the homes without an addition, I mean, they're really tiny. And I have 2 girls, and that's one of the reasons. I guess that's about it.
Okay. Let me turn to our professionals. Mr. Barron's going to start with you.
Sure. Good evening. I guess a few questions, then a few observations. So, Mr. Arima, is it safe to say that the existing house will remain, that it will not be demolished?
Yes.
Okay. I know the floor plan shows some interior walls being demolished, but the majority of the existing structure will remain?
Yes.
Is that accurate? Okay.
Yes.
I noticed on the plan that there's no equipment shown on the outside. So like the AC unit, do you have an idea of where that might be going?
Right now, there's an AC unit in the rear of the house.
Okay.
Hopefully, I don't have to upgrade, but if I do, same location and just a bigger unit.
Okay. And when you say the rear, that's on the side where the deck is?
Yes.
The back porch, I guess we'll call it. Okay.
Yes.
Which would be a compliant location. Just bear with me while I go through my standard questions here. I think Mr. Costa's office and I had the same question, and this was for the architect, just to confirm the proposed building and lot coverage calculations. I tried to do some quick math and was unsuccessful, but it seems like the percentages given might be a bit off. So for instance, the proposed building coverage is 17% and the proposed lot coverage is 22%. Again, just to confirm those, they might actually be less in this case.
I have revised the zone chart,
Okay.
and I have that if you would like to see it. It's on a revised drawing. I tried to get the drawings all up to speed with the review comments.
Okay.
Okay,
And
if you have that, could you share it on the screen and we can mark it as Exhibit A1 and you can just describe it to the board and provide the date of the document?
okay, I'm trying to share it, but it doesn't have my Google Drive as a possibility.
If you open up the document on your screen and then do and then click share screen, it should come up.
Okay, we'll try that. Oh, wrong one. Okay, I have it. Do you see it yet?
No, not
No.
yet. If you have to click on the green share screen or logo on Zoom,
Okay,
and then it should come up as an option.
okay. I just get a sub menu that has 4 choices.
So yeah, if you click on one of those windows that shows the plan.
All right, hang on. Well, I got it on my screen. Sure.
Well, how about this? Can you read to us, what did you correct on that plan? Did you correct the
All right.
design or just the zoning table?
Okay, if you have, no, I've corrected several things. I can go over them with you. If you have the plan in front of you, if you look at the zone chart of the land use regulations analysis, a couple of things that that were required to be changed is like number 8. I've added Manchester as a setback and put that there's 38.9 feet and the existing is on Elm is an existing setback of 26.5. On number 9, I changed the side yard setback. The engineer's report seemed to indicate that the side yard was only 7.5 feet, so I changed that on the site plan. And the existing is 21 feet, so there's no issue with that. The rear yard plan is 25 feet, and we're looking for 14 feet. The height of the building was, I think on the drawings is 25 feet 4 inches. I laser measured the peak of the roof. It's 24 feet 6 inches. So that shouldn't be an issue. The coverage, line item 7 is required 35%. The existing is 1,162 square feet, which is 17%. And the proposed altogether is 1,487 square feet, and that's 22%.
Okay, and how about line item number 6, building coverage?
Building coverage is still 17%.
So proposed. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Mhm.
All right, thank you. And the basement or crawl space under the addition, which is it?
It's going to be a small crawl space, no basement.
Okay. There's an existing tree in the front yard area on the Manchester side. Do we know if that's coming down?
Is to remain. The foundations are going to be post and beam.
Okay.
So we'll have we'll work with the root system and make it work.
Very good. Nice to hear. I'm just going through my standard list of questions here. I mean, I don't have any other questions. Again, just some observations. It's a corner lot developed with an existing single-family home, a typical center hall colonial that you'll see in that part of River Edge. It's a somewhat undersized lot at 6,910 square feet, where a minimum of 7,500 square feet is required. Because it's a corner lot, they have minimum 30-foot front yard setbacks on both the Elm Ave and Manchester Road frontages. The house has an existing non-conforming front yard setback on the Elm side of, I think it's 26.5 feet, which the addition will basically continue that line. And the addition will conform on the other front yard along Manchester.
It will. Yes.
Right. And then finally, with respect to the rear yard setback, the way the code works is that the yard opposite the front door, basically opposite the address, is the rear yard. They're proposing an 8-foot addition in that rear space, which brings the house approximately 14 feet to the property line, where a minimum of 25 feet is required. And I guess I'll ask this question to the architect. Could you help the board understand just, why you chose to place the addition where it is and what choices you had with respect to the existing building conditions?
Well, most specifically, the second floor, there's 3 bedrooms. The rear right bedroom is only 9 feet by 9 feet and no closet. So it's really not functional as a proper bedroom. So we wanted to go out in that direction, both to the right and to the rear, to provide a greater space for a better bedroom, closets, and even we had enough space, we added a master bath.
And you have a garage on the north side of the house, right? Or the left side, if you're looking at the
Yes.
front, which probably would make it difficult to have an addition on that side.
Well, the bedroom on the left is of an adequate size. It really doesn't need any addition, and to get to it, then it gets a little difficult crossing over to make another bedroom space. Just more convenient to go in the rear right corner of the house.
All right.
Also, that is a good area for a kitchen on the first floor. We're doing a 2-floor addition, so it expands the kitchen and the family room or the living room area.
All right, thank you. And you have plenty of coverage left, but just, I guess this might be a question for the applicant. Do you have any plans for a patio or a deck or anything in the backyard? Like most homes tend to, you don't have to have a plan tonight, but do you have a sense of where you want to go with that?
Honestly, no, nothing in the back, just stairs going down, and on the left, maybe in the future, a patio. But
Okay.
it's a nice layout right now with the landscape and the grass there.
Very good. No further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Barron.
Thank you.
Mr. Flores.
Just to second Mr. Tom Burns, yes, the property is a corner lot. They are adding an addition to the rear yard in this case, which will be on the Manchester Road side. Is in line with the existing deck. Most of the properties along Elm Avenue, they do get close to the property line along the neighborhood. The only question that I have for the architect is just going back to number 7, just for clarity. I still trying to add the numbers, and just for clarification, you're saying the existing building coverage is 17%?
The existing building coverage,
Is 17%.
yes.
If I add the addition, that brings the building coverage up. So you're saying the proposed is still 17%. I just want to make sure, because I don't have the plan that you revised, and I just want to make sure it's clear.
Yeah, I believe the proposed total building coverage is 22%.
So on the plan, it's listed as building coverage 17%, lot coverage
Oh, lot coverage.
22%. So we need to know what is the existing building coverage, what's the proposed building coverage, and then what's the existing lot coverage and proposed lot coverage.
Okay. Okay, I don't have that right in front of me. I know that the existing building coverage itself is 845 square feet, and we're adding 327. So there'll be a total of 1,172 square feet.
Could you repeat the numbers for me, please, one more time?
The existing building coverage is 845 square feet. And the addition is 327 square feet for a total of 1,172 square feet.
Understood. Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense to me.
1845
I mean,
plus
I did quick calculations and I have the
No, it's
building as 1,029.
2,172, not 1,100.
Okay.
1845 plus 327 is
No,
2,000.
845. 845.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank
it's 845. So you had the existing is 845 and the proposed is 1173. I understood. No, I just wanted the clarity as well, because it wasn't matching originally. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Another question that I had was, I know this keep coming back just only for the purpose of the board. The existing survey, I know is for completeness purposes, it doesn't have to depict a topographic view. However, we notices that there is a lot of trees that are going to be within the area of construction. So I just want to make sure that if you get approved tonight, you are going to have to be required to do a soil movement permit, and you're going to have to be required to do a tree removal permit. And with those permits, you most likely going to have to update the survey to represent a topographic map, just to see the counters and how you're going to change the the grading around the addition.
Understandable.
And then anything that has to come with that, you will have to do some drainage mitigation, which will come to our office for review. And nothing else. I just oh yes, another question. You're not planning to do anything to the driveway, right?
No, it's gonna stay the way it is.
Thank you. I don't have another question for for the architect or the applicant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. So let me turn to the board for questions. Ms. Boland, can I start with you?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Knigo?
No, sounds reasonable to me. Welcome to town, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Craig?
I'm like everyone else. I don't have anything additional that I'm curious about.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
I'm still confused. Maybe it's just me. What's the lot coverage, the present lot coverage? Is that one?
17%.
17%,
And we're moving to what?
22.
22.
Is that the building coverage or the lot coverage?
Yeah.
That you guys,
So
I believe that's
You-
the lot coverage. Let me bring it up again.
okay, I thought you said
so-
Mayor, I'm sorry. Is it
No,
okay
go
to ask-
ahead. I'm a little confused
Ma-
too.
Yeah, I thought you said the existing building is 845 square feet, the footprint of the existing building, right? Is 845 and the footprint of the addition is 327, that gets us to 1172. So that's building coverage, right? So that's like 17%. Right?
Okay,
That's correct.
Okay, and then, yeah, I think the
lot
mayor,
coverage,
the
the
mayor's
lot
asking what
coverage is proposed was 22%. The lot coverage. That's including the permeable,
okay,
non-permeable surfaces.
sorry, thank you very much, Mayor, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that helped me. That helped me.
I think the confusion is because it happened to be the new building coverage happened to be 17%, which is the old lot coverage. So it just happened to be the number the same. So that's where the confusion comes.
Thank you.
So I would just like to ask, so you are going to be encroaching upon your neighbor's property to the east, I would suppose. And you say that you've spoken to your neighbor and they are comfortable with the encroachment?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, my wife and I went there and couldn't find nicer people. And like I said, we told them we are perfectly fine. If you guys object to this, we'll think of another plan. But they had no objections at all.
Okay.
They actually invited us in their home, which
Oh,
was
very nice.
yeah.
Now, just a couple of questions. One, you're not looking to expand the driveway now or in the future?
No, does River Edge have street parking at night?
Yes.
Okay. In Nutley, we don't.
Yeah. I know.
It's tough. But I have two daughters. One goes to Rutgers. Another one works in a school, and my wife. So we make it work in the driveway. It's tough, but we make it work.
Okay, sidewalks, I see you have a front sidewalk and a stoop and, you're not looking to expand or change that? Now we're in,
I'm at the mercy of the board. If they wanted that, I would. I love the look. I personally would not want to touch it.
okay, and the deck, the current deck, are you looking, you're gonna maintain it, or are you going to, or do you intend in the future to increase it or change it?
Just it's gonna be stairs going downstairs to the backyard. It's only like it's not much of a deck now. It was maybe 4 by 6.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman?
Nothing really. I kind of have a question for Mr. Behrens. On this table on the drawing, it sounds like it needs to be updated with the land use regulations analysis. Tom, the maximum lot coverage allowed is shown as 35. That's with the 5% allowance, right?
Yeah, right. That's inclusive of that. Yep.
Okay, so just so I don't know if that should be explicitly indicated.
Well,
in
maybe
the-
we could explain to the applicant. So what the councilman's referring to is that River Edge allows for a maximum lot coverage of 35%. That's all your improvements, the house, driveway, et cetera. We have a minimum reservation of 5% for rear yard amenities. So things like decks, patios, sheds. The reason being is that people are just going over, maxing out everything else with no room left. So when you make any future plans for your property, whether it's a driveway expansion, patio deck, et cetera, you have some wiggle room now, but just to be aware that that 35% includes 5% dedicated solely to the rear yard.
Thank you.
May I,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tom,
Thank you
could
so
you
much.
please speak to Edwin and make sure that we get a updated application form for the table? Thank you.
Can do.
Okay,
I have nothing else, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
thank you, Councilman. Mr. Merman.
Yes. One comment, which is basically a clarification and an expansion of the mayor's question. What's labeled as the rear deck is really an existing, a little bit wider entry to the rear door, as opposed to the word deck, which means furniture and things like that. You just want to clarify that that's true, that it's really merely a little bit wider. I'll use the word stoop.
More,
Right?
yes, more of a stoop. It wasn't a deck. I
Right.
think it was maybe 4 by 5 or 6.
Yeah, it looks larger on the drawing than it functionally is. Okay, so it's not really a deck, it's just a larger stoop and
Yes.
wall. Okay, all right. That's my only comment, Mr. Chairman. When we get to the point of formulating a motion, we're going to have to restate all those numbers and agree on agreeable numbers
Okay.
at that point.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Duly noted. I have no questions or comments for the applicant or the architect, so I will, at this point, look to open up to the public for comment. I think we have some folks in the.
You have someone in the public.
Okay, so at this time, I'll look for a motion to open to the public for comment on this application.
So moved.
I think I've got a first from Ms. Boland and a second from Mr. Kenigo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, any abstained? All right, at this time, we're now open for public comment on this application. We ask that the comments be limited to no more than 2 minutes each. And I think we have one person already who's indicated looking to speak.
Yes, so please state your name and your address for the record. You should be able to make your
Yeah.
comment now.
My name is Victor D. Cosmas. I live at 184 Manchester Road. I have a concern about that tree, because once you go out on the side, which you call the front, you're going to have to go into those roots. And I don't know if anybody on this committee has ever seen that tree. It's one of the biggest skirts that you're ever going to find anywhere. So is the tree going to be compromised? And if so, who's going to answer for it if it is?
Is that your only question?
No,
comment?
and how about the drainage? Will that be affected?
All right, and is that everything?
Yes.
All right, so we will answer those questions.
If the tree is a concern, I will have a tree company come out and do a report on the tree to make, obviously I want it safe, not just for my family, but for the whole neighborhood. I'd be devastated, God forbid something happened, but I would do a tree report on the tree. The tree's probably, it's gorgeous. But if it's going to be compromised, which I don't think it will be, I had a friend come out there, but if it is, I will make it safe and do what I have to do to please the neighbor and the township.
And as the board engineer discussed, you would have to submit a tree removal permit and comply with those requirements.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then there was also the question on stormwater, which I think will be addressed as part of the soil movement permitting with the town's engineer, the borough's
Yes.
engineer.
Understandable.
Correct.
Okay. Anyone else in the public wishing to make a comment on this application? Okay. At this time, I'll look for a motion to close to the public for comment.
So moved?
Thank you, Ms. Boland. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cray. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? All right, at this time, we are now closed for public comment. Any final comments or questions from the board or the professionals on the application? Okay, there being none, I will ask for a motion on the application, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make an attempt to construct a motion. And like I said earlier, when we get to numbers, we're going to have to agree on those. I'll make a motion that the land use board of the Borough of River Ridge grant approval to the residents at 428 Elm Avenue, Block 811, Lot 16 in the Borough of River Ridge. And it is known.
Mr. Merman, we're having a little trouble with your audio.
Okay.
There we go.
A little better?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion that the land use board of the Borough of River Edge grant approval to 428 Elm Avenue, Block 811, Lot 16, for the expansion of the residence, and that is noted that this is a corner lot. It is also a lot less than our normal standard of 7,500. This lot is approximately 6,910 square feet. So that amounts to a hardship or difficulty. As far as variances are concerned, we are going to require
We're losing you again, Mr. Merman.
Okay, we're going to record
Yeah.
variance.
Mr. Merman, could you just repeat your last sentence? Something with your microphone. I think it's not picking you up every so often.
We're gonna have to pay that phone bill, I guess.
2 cans and a string.
Yeah, we're going to continue the
Dick, we can't
Yeah.
hear you.
Dick, maybe
Whenever
back
you
up.
turn away from the camera, we
Yeah.
can't hear you. When
Yeah.
you face the camera, we can hear you. When you turn away, we can't. So if you put the paper in front of you and face the camera, we should be able to hear you.
if we can do it this way.
There you go.
Let me stand this up. How's that? A little better, maybe?
There you go.
All right. We're going to require an extension of the current front yard setback, which is 26 foot 5 inches. Going to require, and that's on Elm Avenue. We're going to require a front yard back of on Manchester, which is, I'm trying to read the small number. That appears to be, and we should not, which would not require a setback. So likewise, in the rear yard, the building extension would require a setback on the east side of 14.4 inches, which is less than the current permissible. I don't know. Did I miss anything? And we need the coverages now.
Nope, that's fine. And any coverage would just have to meet the requirements of the borough code, or you would have to come back for additional approval.
Okay, that's fine. Did I miss anything else?
No, I think you got it all.
Okay, and likewise, the usual Custer Engineering boilerplate as far as the soil movement and drainage and so forth, and escrows and that regular boilerplate would apply. I don't know what else if I missed anything or anything needs corrections, I'll leave it to you folks.
That seems like everything. The only other thing is to provide the revised plans to the board and the board engineer.
Okay, so we'll incorporate that.
Yep.
All right.
So Mr. Schneider, when you can, you should submit the revised plans to Mr. Alter.
Yes, I'll get them out right away.
Okay. So with that motion, we'll look for a second. I think I heard Mr. Kanigo on a second. So Ms. Steinle, when you're ready.
Right, thank you. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Caslin,
Yes.
Ms. Boland,
Yes.
Mr. Merman,
Yes.
Mr. Cray,
Yes.
Mr. Kanigo,
Yes.
Councilman Glass.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Welcome to town.
Thank you.
Welcome to River Edge.
Yes.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Best of luck.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, good night,
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Okay, we're going to move along in our agenda. We have no old business. We're going to come to board member comments. Mr. Mayor?
So we have a sad event tonight, and but happy for others. I'm going to ask Mr. Merman if he'd like to make a comment or offer a statement.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have an announcement for the board. And my announcement is this: I've basically served every mayor in River Edge since 1984, which is approximately 40 years. I've served them either very publicly or behind the scenes, where we're at a transition point now. As far as my membership seat is, and it's time at this now at a transition point for renewal time, and now is the time, I believe, to pass the torch on to the younger generation. I'm proud to have continued in the development of River Edge over the years, and I would like to thank Mayor and the council liaison, fellow board members, our professionals in their support, Marina, Tom Behrens, Bob Coster in his office, and Steve Depkin. Also, I'd like to recognize the support that I've received from the people behind the scenes, especially Lisa and the other support staff, and Ed Walter especially, who's sort of functions as the guardian angel of the board. Some of the examples, a few examples of what I've been involved in over those 40 years, would start with the public safety building, and I was involved in the decision making, the construction, and all of that. Probably one of my proudest inputs was the South Gateway to the borough, the Kinderkamack Road improvements, and we worked directly and indirectly with Mr. Costa's office on that. Some of you might recognize the old Kaufman Coos site, which is now the Total Wine Development. Quite a bit of efforts went into that. I'm very proud of having testified before the Board of Freeholders on behalf of the removal of the Bergenfield junkyard. There was a Green Acres, I testified at the Green Acres hearing, and there's other projects that went on. I'm looking forward to once I retire here, doing some personal projects, which are many, and doing some travel and some recreation, particularly in our Vermont vacation home. So, folks, the torch is going to be yours to carry the beauty and the concerns of River Edge into the future. So that's my announcement, folks.
I say ye, Dick Merman.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Dick. I want the, I'm gonna thank Dick in a second. I want the Land Use Board to know that we're going to put together a proclamation, which is going to delineate all the wonderful and really noble things that Mr. Merman has done for the borough of River Edge. And we're gonna do that probably in February, because Mr. Merman's gonna be away in late January. And we, the first meeting of the year is the reorg meeting, and that doesn't really work with any sort of proclamation. So we're looking at February for this point. We hope all of you might be able to either come in person or to tune in on the Zoom that we do. We do that hybrid for the council. Dick, your contribution has really safeguarded River Edge from exploitive development in so many ways. You've always asked very concise, very professional questions that has helped me, but helped this board to look deeper into each application and to remember that what we approve, the neighbors have to live with. What we approve, the town has to live with. And so in so many ways, you've been a guardian of the town. And on behalf of myself and the council and the people of River Edge, I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And we will sorely miss you. If any other member, I'm sorry, Mr. Kessler, it's really your job. But that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say thank you. Thank you.
No, as Dick has mentioned, he's been a member of the board for the past 40 years, some of which those years he's been chair or vice chair. So he's been driving the bus at some point in time as well as being a member. And Dick, you've always had a consistent approach to applications, certainly with the best interests of both the applicant and the town at heart. You've got a terrific ability to peel back the different layers of a proposed project and work with applicants to achieve really an appropriate balance of meeting their desires and intentions, but also maintaining the interests of the wider community in town, as the mayor just articulated. You also have an uncanny knack of holding professionals and applicants' feet to the fire when necessary, and relief when the circumstances at hand warranted the same. You're a tremendous asset to the board, and as was already mentioned, you will be sorely missed. And with that, I will open it to the other members of the board.
Well, thank you all, Mr. Mayor and all. Before we close the meeting,
I think Mr. Canigo wants to
okay.
step in.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I've been on the board for several years now. I started off as a member because I was on the council, and then the mayor was kind enough to appoint me to finish up Mr. Arkelian's term. You know, by losing you, we lose a tremendous asset to this board. Hopefully we'll still be able to reach out when necessary. I just want to thank you on a personal level. I have learned a lot by listening to you, by observing the way you go about tackling these issues. I appreciate your conservative nature, and I hope that we continue. We're a small town. We're going to have to fight for everything that you have fought for. And as a resident of River Edge since 1984, I can tell you I've been a firsthand witness to the changes, to the improvements, and this town is all the better for all the hard work, time, and effort you've put in. And I too want to thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kegel. Mr. Chairman, if I can make a closing statement, if there are
Right.
no other comments.
I have nothing further. If no one else on the board, anyone else has anything further, Mr. Merman, the floor is yours.
Okay. I would like to wish all, I would like to wish a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a healthier New Year. And that's from me and my staff. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Mr. Merman.
Yeah, I think we should also say thank you to your wife for all the troubleshooting she's done.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, with that, this being our last meeting of the year, wish everyone happy, safe holidays, best of the new year, and we will reconvene in January.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.
Okay, guys.
Good luck,
Bye-bye.
Mr. Merman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy.